Welcome to GatorsZone.com. I'm Chris Harry alongside Scott Carter. The Florida Gators will wrap up the regular season in football this week against the Florida State Seminoles. Ranked #1, Will Muschamp's final game will be in Tallahassee against one of his buddies, Jimbo Fisher. 2 years ago, the Gators went up there and defeated FSU 37-26. What is the recipe for possibly that happening again and sending Will Muschamp out in a fantastic way?
Well, Chris, I mean, it's going to be a recipe that no one has found in, 27 games. Florida State has won 27 in a row. Have not lost since the end of the 2012 regular season when the Gators went over and beat them. And, it's going to probably take a similar kind of performance against Florida. If you remember that day, I mean, the offense was steady and efficient. They had a couple big plays, but it was just a good overall offensive performance. But the defense was its usual self. I mean, it had some big hits, some big turnovers. I think you're going to see that's probably the same kind of storyline. And remember, Jameis Winston wasn't there in 2012. It was E.J. Manuel, but E.J. Manuel got a fumble there that Antonio Morrison recovered, and it really changed the tone of the game. So it's just going to be your typical Florida State game. But it is the storyline with Will Muschamp, his last game against Florida. You can't think of a better way for the Gators to send their coach out than with the win over FSU.
That 2012 game, I believe the Gators rushed for close to 280 yards in that game and thus kept E.J. Manuel off the field. That would be a nice recipe to keep Jameis Winston off the field. How do you defend this guy? I mean, he has some of his struggles. He makes some mistakes, but he always makes plays when they have to have them.
Yeah, he really does. If you saw the game Saturday against Boston College, again, they were on the ropes in the second half, and yet they get a big drive when they needed it, led by Winston, got a field goal, win the game. Will Muschamp actually talked about that today some in his press conference. He said one thing that, when you watch Winston, when he gets into a rhythm, when he kind of feels like he knows where the pressure is going to come from and where the coverage is going to be, that's when he gets really comfortable. He says to keep him off balance, you have to constantly be creative in the looks that you give Winston, and Florida does that pretty well consistently. That's part of their game plan. So nothing's going to change there. They're going to give him a lot of different looks, try to get pressures from different areas, and hopefully some guys make plays and pick off a pass or here and convert.
Win or lose at Florida State, the Gators will have one more game to play. After defeating Eastern Kentucky Saturday, the Gators became bowl eligible with a 6th victory. DJ Durkin will coach that game. What has Will Muschamp said about his good friend DJ Durkin being an interim coach?
He talked about DJ today a little bit. I mean, he was one of the coaches that Will Muschamp kept off Urban Meyer's staff when he took over the program in 2011. A very well-respected defensive mind. Obviously, Muschamp made his name on defense. So him and Durkin, as you can imagine, they have a close relationship, and he thinks Florida's going to be fine in their bowl game as they prepare with Durkin. It helps keep some continuity. The players know this guy. He's been around the program, and so it's just one way to bridge kind of an uncertain period of when you're in your regular season with your head coach, and until a bowl game you have those 2, 3, 4 weeks. Durkin brings some stability there, but that's kind of the message here. Just they're trying to go out and send out Muschamp in style, and we saw a very inspired Florida team against Eastern Kentucky. You could tell the guys really wanted to get that win for the seniors and in Muschamp's home game. I'd be surprised if we don't see a similar kind of energetic Gators team on Saturday in Tallahassee.
So it'll be Florida and Florida State from Tallahassee. The Seminoles have won 3 of the last 4. We'll see if the Gators can stem that tide a little bit. For Scott Carter, I'm Chris Harry. Thank you for watching GatorsZone.